Well, boys, I lied. I said I was done modifying my GLI, but here we are. We got some clear taillights for the car. I am so excited for these. Oh my gosh. These are gonna look so freaking good, man. Dude, what? So these here are clear sequential smoked taillights from Altec. Now, obviously these are the factory red taillights, and you know, my color scheme on this car has been black, silver, and chrome. Yeah, now it's kind of hard to say no, so yeah. I've been waiting for these for a little while, but we finally got them here, got all the stuff that we need, like the harness and everything. So we're gonna be throwing them on because I'm gonna complete the color scheme here. I do wanna give a huge thank you to Altec for working with me and getting me a set of these for the car. So they do make a bunch of taillights for Volkswagens that are clears. And so if you guys wanna go check these out, you guys can use my link down below. But for today, let's go ahead and get these installed on the car. These are based off of these Sagittar taillights, which if you guys aren't familiar with those, I'll throw a pic up real quick, but those are the Chinese market taillights. So we do have a special harness here that is going to be used to wire these up. Luckily, there's no splicing or anything involved, but we do have to also code them to work properly. So for that, we're going to be using OBD11. And it shouldn't be too bad. Now for this install, you don't need much, but you do need a T25, some trim removal tools, and a little pink pick because it makes getting out the sensors easier. So that should be all we need, but obviously if not, I'll put it right here. So the first thing we need to do is remove this little cover here on the taillights, and I just kind of push them out. You can see there's little clips right here and here, and these are gonna plug in right here and right here. Once that panel is removed, you'll see 225 bolts right here holding in your taillight. Once you set those to the side, you should be able to pull out your taillight. Just like that. As you can see, there's basically these two screw holes, and then there's this little thingamadoohickey that goes into this little grommet right here, holding it in the back. So once you got this out, you can set this aside or put it in a box like a normal person, or on top of your Miata. Next, we need to pull out this outer taillight, and there's this little plastic cover sitting in front of it here that you can remove. To grab your 10mm, undo that nut. I think you have to remove this little cover here, and this should give you access to the harness hole thingamadoohickey. Now it's kind of hard to show with my camera, but there is also another 10mm in there that looks like it's holding in the taillight. So we are going to remove that as well, and then we should be able to hopefully pop out the sensors once we get it off of the car. Now the harness on here is very, very short, but it looks like we actually have to access that from underneath inside the trunk hole. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of seat it back in there for right now. It is like this yellow thing right here, so you're gonna wanna use your pick to pull out on that red part outwards. Just kind of pushing down on the taillight as I pop out this sensor. Just to kind of show you guys what I mean here. I pulled out the red part with my pick, and then I pushed down on this little inner yellow part as I was pulling out the sensor from the one on the taillight. So I just popped off this cover again. Now I need to remove the T25 bolts. Again, same process, just kind of push it out. Be easy on the grommet in the back. You don't want to pull too far and have it either break or snag the harness on accident. Push out that little pink clip right there, push in on the connector, and pull it right off. Undo the 10mm, undo the 10mm inside the car. Look at those guys right there, getting replaced like everything else stock on this car. We genuinely have a problem with parts, but you know how it goes. Why don't we just rock the no taillight look? What do y'all think? Now we need to go ahead and try hooking up all of the harnesses correctly, so let's do it. Obviously we really want to get these in, but we do need to connect our harnesses. So there's two sets basically. These are going to be for the outers and inners, I believe. Basically gonna have to connect two sets of harnesses, and then we can use them for the left or right side. Now that we got the taillights out of the car, we do need to kind of remove this liner here and the liner on this side as well inside the trunk in order to basically be able to pass all the wires through. So we're gonna do that. Not gonna lie to y'all, I've already pulled mine out before, so they're not all the way in there, but there are these little like clips that look like this, and you're basically just gonna wanna be able to pull them out. Make sure they don't break, because I've broken one before. And we're also gonna remove this one up top here. You can kind of just wiggle it like that, and it should free itself. Move that one up top there, and that bottom one broke, so that's okay. Who cares? We'll replace it. But as you can see, now we have both sides basically exposed. Now on the side of the outer taillights, you'll see that this grommet here has some electrical tape on it. And we're basically gonna need to cut that electrical tape in order to feed through the new cables that we got. So let's go ahead and remove that. I went ahead and did the same thing on the other side, just so y'all know. Now this harness here that goes to the outer taillights on the body, these 3 wires need to be ran through the grommet because these are gonna have to connect into the inner taillights connector right here so we can use the sequential functionality. And these are basically gonna be matching up with the 3 colors on here so that way they, do the connector stuff properly. Y'all know me, I'm a dum-dum, and I accidentally removed the plastic sheath around the 3 connector tips that we need to feed through the grommet here. So I just kind of electrical taped them back up to just kind of keep them together, and I left a little tab so I can easily pull it off when it's inside the car. Now I'm no stranger to grommets, so I just removed mine so I could hopefully more easily modulate it through this, but this is gonna be a very, very tight fit, so just, be patient with it. So we got it through now, and we basically just need to keep feeding it all the way until we get it to the actual harness part. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and connect this into here. Here, click, lock it in place. And I'm gonna feed both of these through a little bit further so that way this connector sits kind of flush up against it and hopefully doesn't get in the way of anything. All right, and we should be left with something that looks like that. I'll go ahead and put back in my grommet right here and just seal it back up nice and tight. Now in real time, I'm gonna be doing the other side and recording a reel for it, but for this, you will see me do the top one here in just 1 second. Now this here is our outer taillight harness. So this side here is going to plug into our existing harness on the trunk. This side is gonna plug into our taillight, and then this is gonna connect to the wires that we fed through the grommet. So I just found out that we actually need to trim down this middle plastic connecting piece right here that my thumb is on, and that's gonna allow us to plug this into the harness for the tailgate. I don't have a Dremel or anything, so I'm just gonna use a little file and try to kind of get it down. Once you have it shaved down, you can pull it back through. Go ahead and feed up your wire harness as well with both connectors up through here. Hopefully now that should be enough for us to connect these together just like that. So now we can kind of just tuck that in there. Leave our connector up top here for our taillights. Now you can see this wire right here coming down from like kind of behind the trunk area. And we're just gonna take this and kind of try to finagle it back there into the opening. All right, so I just kind of pulled down on this to make it a lot easier for myself. Hopefully it didn't break anything. Doesn't look like it did, but now we can pass that through. Now I went ahead and moved this cable right here behind the trunk because we want to be able to tuck it behind everything here. And you're not going to be able to do that once these are connected. So this is probably the most important part of this install. As you can see here, this connector has a red, yellow, and blue. And this little piece here connects into the connector, but it only goes in one way. So we are going to need to match these up. The red to the red, the yellow to the yellow, and the blue to the blue. So I already got mine kind of in order here. And we are just going to basically pin them into these connectors. Each one has its own individual little slot there. Red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. We're going to slide these all the way in. You'll hear it click, and then you're just going to connect them down. So if you mess up, you can undo it, but just like that, plug it in, and there you go. Red, yellow, blue goes to red, yellow, blue. It's the exact same process on the other side. However, there is no hole on the passenger side of the car. So what I'm actually gonna do is just kind of take my drill bit and drill a little hole right here to be able to feed the wire through and down. Well, hindsight's 2020. My car's already clapped, so I'm not too worried about it, but honestly, this doesn't look great. I might like smooth this out later and put like a little rubber grommet there or something just to make it look nice. But nonetheless, passenger side is in, and now we got to wire it up just like we did a second ago on the other side. It's finally time for the actual fun part. Skipped all the wiring, now we can throw on the taillights. All right, we're gonna go ahead and connect our connector, line it up, seat it into place. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious, that is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, that looks good. Oh, okay, I need to get these on. Take our T25 here, throw on our bolts. Now for the outer one, these do actually have a little seal on them. But it was recommended that you just reuse the factory one if you don't have any issues. So that is what we are going to do with these. So I'm taking off this one and we put back on our old one. Now for this, just plug it in. Now we're gonna take our 10 mil. Ladies and gentlemen, per tradition, it is a new day and we got the clear taillights on the car. I got really tired last night trying to record, so I just kind of waited till the morning, but dude, these things are sick. I really love the smoked look of these. Like, honestly, the smoked clear look is just, it's so good with my color scheme, I think. So I am super duper hyped to get these coated, which is what we're gonna be attempting to do today. And if we can't do it, we'll wait till my buddy can come help us because we'll have to see. Nonetheless, let's get into it. So for coating the taillights, we are going to be using OBD11, and honestly, it's pretty straightforward, but if you don't know what OBD11 is, it's basically an app that allows you to do like diagnostics and coding for like fun, cool stuff, which I'll need to make another video on that because there's a lot you can do with it, but we're booting it up right now. I went to the Alptec website here and pulled up the instructions for the long coding, so that's what we're going to be doing. But basically, let's kind of go through everything and I'll try to put everything up on the screen as I'm doing it for you guys. Basically, we're going to be going into OBD11 and we're going to have to go under Control Units, tap Central Electronics, then we're going to have to go to Adaptation, and we're going to have to go to the Licht 20 module. We're going to type in Licht 20. So we're basically going to have to go through this list here and match up all the values with the values shown on my screen here. The first one is going to be LATSP, and we're going to have to change that to 34 instead of 35. And then position 20, we're going to have to change that to 13. Then we're going to have to change the next one, DFCC, to 43. And then the next one we're going to have to change to brake lamp, Bremslicht, brake lamp, light function A. It is in German, but you know, it should be, I believe that is the correct translation. It does help to speak German for this. B20, not active, nicht aktiv. Dimwert, AB20. I have to change that to 127, which it's already 127. HD, HB, always, that is correct. C and D are not active. D20 not active. CD is 0. Dimming direction CD. Maximize. Licht function E, nicht aktiv. Nicht aktiv für F also. Dimmwert EF 0 or 0. EF 20 needs to be maximized. G and H both not active. And then 0 and maximize. So we're going to go ahead and save that, and they should be all matched up correctly, hopefully. Alright, so I just did that again with my hood popped open and the adaptation was accepted. So now we can go to the next one, which is Licht 21, brake right. So this one, we're also going to want to change that to 34 LED Bremselachten. So 34. Then we're going to want to go 25. Then we're going to want to do 45. And then we're going to want to do Bremslicht, which is correct. And then for 21 oder B, we want to do nicht aktiv. Und für Dimmerwert 8 und B, we will do 127. Just like that, nicht aktiv, 127. We do always, and then for C and D we do not active. Nicht aktiv, 0. And then we do CD maximize. E21, we do not active. F also not active. EF is 0. Then we do maximize for EF, dimming direction. We do maximize, And then we do not active, 0, and maximize. So that is correct. Adaptation accepted. Now we'll move on to the next page. Now we gotta do Lichter 17, turn signal left. Last speed we want to do 38. LED blinkton. I don't know exactly what that says. 17, we'll change that to value 8. Change the FCC to 22. Licht function A, we have to do blinken links Hilfes. I don't know how to say that. B17, we're going to change that to nicht aktiv, which it is. And then 127, and then always not active, 0. Maximize, E and F are both not active. Dimwert, we'll do 0. Maximize, Licht function G, nicht aktiv. H, nicht aktiv, Dimwert 0, and then we need to change the bottom one to maximize. Now next one we gotta do Licht 16. So now we're gonna do 38. LED blinkton. Change position to 24. We'll change the next one to 24 also. Blinkten Lichtshilfes. Nicht aktiv, 127. Always nicht aktiv, 0. Maximize, E and F are not active. And then Dimwert is going to be 0. Dimming direction EF is going to be maximize. Dimming direction EF maximize. Then Licht function G is going to be nicht aktiv. H is going to be nicht aktiv. GH16 is going to be 0. And then we're going to do maximize for the dimming direction. Licht 23. So we're going to change these to 37. And then position 23. Change that to 10. And we're going to change the next one, the byte thingamadoohickey, to 41. Licht function A. Stunden allem, whatever the hell that thing says there. And then Parklicht. I can't read that word, I'll be honest, but whatever I just put on the screen, right? And then always not active, 0. Maximize CD. Licht function E should be not active. Licht function F not active. Dimwert EF should be 0. And then dimming direction EF should be maximize. Licht function G and H need to be not active. And H is already not active. And then 0, and then we change the last one to maximize. So now we can move on to Licht 24. And we're going to do 37 for the top one. For the Licht position, we're going to do 26. And then we're going to do 42. Whatever that thing says for Licht function A is correct. And then for B, we're going to change it to Parking Licht rechts. Dimwert AB 24 is going to be 127. And then HDAB is going to be always. And then C and D are going to be not active.
CD is going to be maximize. Wait, no. CD24 is going to be 0. Direction, maximize. Licht function E is going to be not active, along with F24. That is also going to be not active. Dimwert EF is going to be 0. And then dimming direction EF24 is going to be maximize. G is going to be not active. H is already not active. 0, and then we do maximize. Now we need to go to Licht 28, and we got to do 32, 0, we got to do 1. A is Klemma 30G. B is nicht aktiv. AB28 is going to be 127. HDAB is going to be always. C is going to be not active. D is going to be not active. And then we're going to do 0. And then we're going to do maximize. And then for E, we're going to set that to not active. And then EF is going to be 0 as it currently is. EF is going to be maximize. G28 is going to be nicht aktiv. H is going to be nicht aktiv, 0. And we're going to do maximize for the last one. So adaptation accepted. Licht 27. So same thing here, we're going to go down to 32. And then we're going to do 0. And then we're going to do 1. And then Klemma 30G. And then B is going to be not active. AB is going to be 127. Then we're going to do AB as always, or HDAB always. C is going to be not active. D is going to be not active. CD is going to be 0. CD dimming direction is going to be maximize. Licht function E is going to be not active. Licht function F is going to be not active. Dimmerwert is going to be 0. Dimming direction EF is going to be maximize. Nicht aktiv, 0, and maximize. Now we got one more to do. Licht 29. For this one, 32, 1B, 32, Rachtverlicht, nicht aktiv, 127, always, nicht aktiv, 0. Dimming direction, maximize, nicht aktiv, 0. Maximize, nicht aktiv, 0, maximize. Okay, cool. So now, since we have 22, we don't need to worry about some of the stuff. Clear all the faults pretty much, because I know that there's going to be some. So I'm just going to basically start a scan of my car real quick, and then once we're finished scanning it, we're going to clear all the faults, see how the taillights look, and then we'll work on enabling the dynamic sweep, because I don't think that is going to be enabled from the changes we just made. So, catch you guys in just a second.
So this is the result right here. This is how the coating for the taillights is supposed to look. And honestly, I really like this, but what I am going to try to do is disable these squares when the light is running. Basically just one line, kind of like how my Scandinavian setup was, but with this tail setup obviously, and having the sequential turn signals. Which, by the way, if you were wondering how those looked, here's the thing. Guys, this is comical, okay? Here's what happened, right? I coded something wrong. When I put on my left turn signal, it does not work. When I put on my right turn signal, both turn signals work. So this is not how it's supposed to be, but it does give you an idea of how the sequential turn signals do look, and man, that looks freaking sick. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, we're gonna have to fix that, so I'm gonna get back to the coding board, drawing board, coding board, whatever you want to call it, and fix these. So let's get to it. I read on the forum here from Alptech that the main issue for that is basically just a misconfigured turn signals. So we're going back into the adaptations and we are going to look through everything and try to get it back to how it should be. Now the turn signal modules are Licht 17 and 16. So 17 is for the left, 16 is for the right. So the ones that would be incorrect would be A17 Linkhelfis. Okay, and that one is correct. So now we're gonna go check Licht 16. Yep, that one's Lichthelfis and it should be Rechthelfis. So once we do that, enter the login 31347, press OK. Adaptation saved. Now let's try it. So it looks like that is working properly, and that one is also working properly now. Show you guys what the brake lights look like. That is the brake lights. I do want to go out and get some footage with the car, but dude, it has been raining non-stop here, if you cannot tell. And that's just not been possible. I haven't even been able to wash my car because it's been raining non-stop. So unfortunately, won't be happening today, but hopefully very, very soon. I'm just super happy with how the car has turned out now, and I think we're really ready for Gatlinburg. I know I said I was going to keep it really, really low for that event, but it's just not feasible with how much power this car makes and me actually wanting to be able to drive it, But obviously we are still pretty low, and our fitment is looking quite nice if you ask me. So anyhow, I'm super happy with how the car's turned out. I think the last thing we really want to get is some new exhaust tips, but I don't think I pointed this out in a previous video. We actually changed the black here to chrome and left the silver with the black inlay for this red cover up. So I'm kind of switching everything over to chrome and silver. I started working on peeling off the vinyl here, but it's really, really tough, which I guess is kind of what you want in vinyl wrap until you go to take it off. So again, thanks to Swan Vinyl for that stuff, but also want to give a huge thank you to Alptech for sending over these tails. And man, they look good. So if you guys want to go check out any of their stuff, you can use my code JOHN20 and get, I believe, $20 off. I'm not 100% sure, but you'll save a couple bucks. So yeah, we'll be getting some for the Mark V soon. The Mark V build is going to be coming along very, very soon. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe because we upload quite often. So catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.